Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to do a video talking about how I'm actioning this upcoming change for Splinterlands, where gladiator cards that you currently own can at this moment be burned for DSC, but soon will not be able to be burned for DSC. And so for a long time I've known that this was possible. I knew you could, and I actually talked on this issue one time before. I made an argument that generally speaking the rewards associated with these cards being deleted forever doesn't seem significant enough to justify actioning it. It's like, I still use them, I can use them, and now we know because of the soulbound summoners, they're even more functional, more useful, more commonly applicable than ever before. And with that in mind, it's kind of like, well, why would you want to burn them? But this moment of transition, I've spoken about this on the channel before, and we're going to get more into it as we go through in the video, but you've heard me say that when there's moments of transition, there's a moment where every individual has to decide how to action or how to prepare or how to utilize or maximize their own respective benefit for an upcoming change. Whether that's the rank reward changes that have recently been implemented, whether it's how tournaments have been changing or maybe one day will change, and even issues such as this where cards are currently available to create DEC for you to use and one day won't be able to. Very soon, April 2nd, we're being told, they'll no longer be burnable for DEC. So this is now, it's kind of now or never. And so that held my feet to the ground on this a little bit. And I thought it through for a few days now. And I said, you know, yes, I would like to have gold foil copies of these cards. I would like them to be maximum and even more playable at higher levels than my non-gold foil equivalents. But the truth is they aren't in most cases. With respect to, this is my main deck that you're looking at here. And these are my gladiators. And these are my gold foils. I have all of them deselected, meaning that this is all of my gold foils from the gladiator set, and some of them are, you know, in playable levels. Like this is low, this is a common level 4, and that's far lower than a maximum, but it still is very impactful. But the problem with me ever playing these gold foils is that I have better regular foil copies. Katroba level 6 right there versus my level 4. Now my level 4 can be leveled up into a level 5, but still you see the point. They just don't match. And if they happen to have been maximum level copies, I just wouldn't delete them. I would rather keep them because I think these gladiators are that important. But it's a case of, I have 2 copies. I don't need both. It would be great if I had the gold foil max, but I can't just do that. It's not up to me. It's not an option. It's not like if I wait patiently, I'm going to be guaranteed to get a maximum gold foil Katroba. There is no way of knowing. Even as we transition from them being payable, these producing DEC, into them producing merits, which theoretically could buy me more packs, which might then max out my cards, you can see the problem that would mean. It's just luck. So if I want a max level Katroba, and if I have a level 6 in reg and a level 4 in gold, you know, I gotta take the card I have that maximizes the impact and usefulness of the game, and I you know, this really is superfluous. There's the odd occasion where the gold foils might be pertinent to me. Maybe I'd submit myself to a gold foil fray or a gold foil tournament, but that's really exceedingly rare because my time just doesn't allow me to do that. And so for me, in my situation, considering all of sort of the usefulness of these cards, the future valuation, the opportunity to get merits versus DEC, the rare likelihood that I will use them in gold foil frays or gold foil tournaments, all things considered, for me to maximally effectively utilize the cards I've earned for free through my time and attention within Splinterlands, it's going to make sense to burn the ones that I don't, and that's going to mean the gold foils. And so I'm going to be liquidating my gold foils here, and I was looking, it's probably going to be 20 or 30 bucks. I haven't added up what this will look like, but it's probably going to be 20 or 30 dollars, and that's going to help. That's going to activate maybe 2 or 3 plots of land, and that's going to start earning SPS, or that's going to start earning research, or that's going to start earning grain, which I can't maybe later so easily earn because of how they're changing land at land 1.6 and 2.0. And I want to make this point that I've made many times before, but I want to make it one more time, and hopefully really clearly. The issue of why one would activate or delete, sell, or buy whatever action you're choosing in a game like Splinterlands, it has consequences. But when the consequences allow you to extract some value, even if that value isn't as high as you might have wanted, the question isn't just, is that price tag sufficient? It's, does the transition into liquid assets enable some new action that would be more beneficial than holding it? Do you see what I'm saying? So if we look at my gold foils in particular, if I want to burn my Captain Katie's, I have 3 BCX of this card, and I can burn for 2,000 DEC per. That's $2 per BCX that I can burn. The card has no usefulness in the sense that I don't regularly play it. You can see the last time I played it was 2 months ago. That was a gold foil tournament, and I don't plan to do a lot of tournaments because I just don't have time. So for those reasons, this is $6 now, or it's a card I don't use. Is $6 a big number? Not really. Not to me. But $6 is better than $0. $6 in my hand is better than a card that I can't use or won't use. And so when then $6 turns into a new opportunity, we start to recognize that it's bigger than just, is the price tag associated with Captain Katie adequate, sufficient? Is this compensation just for this card? It is and it isn't. It both is. It's a small number because Captain Katie is an amazing card, but I'm burning this card for $6, or these 3 BCX cards for $6, because that BCX, or those 3 cards were not carrying a great degree of utility for me personally. In part because I have a higher level regular foil, in part because I don't generally participate in gold foil frays or tournaments, and finally because that $6 can enable something entirely different. And when we go to peak monsters, which I'll start to do in probably a separate video when I start to accumulate my full total here, you'll see that I can start unlocking other cards that really do move the needle. Cards I don't already have, maybe Rift Watchers or Rebellion, cards I don't have and desperately need. And particularly as we look at some of the gold foil cards that are maybe available and affordable, as I've talked about previously with respect to, for instance, Chaos Legion or some of the reward cards, I think some of those gold foil legendaries carry a long-term investment opportunity, and they carry rental potential and resale ability that this doesn't necessarily have. And so for that bigger picture of why would I sell a thing that, you know, it's really, in a sense, rare, scarce, I can't easily replicate. It's not like I can go out and get 3 more BCX of this card easily. For all those reasons, I'd like to have a little bit of liquid funds to utilize in other ways, other ventures that might be more impactful to me and my experience. If you had Captain Katie gold foil, it might make the world of difference to you, but to me, gold foil copy doesn't. And so that US dollar currency does. And so then the price ends up not being the only, how big the price tag is not the only consideration with respect to whether or not I would sell. It's also a question around, even if that number is small, how might that number move the needle? $1 for this card, which I have a regular foil copy of, seems like a small number. But at the same time, that's $1 that I can put to work in another way. And that might make all the difference for my account moving forward. So that's why I'm burning my gladiators for DC. And I'll say one final thing. You might say, well, why don't you wait for merits? The thing with merits is I would be burning these cards to get merits so that I could buy more gladiator packs, so that I could hopefully get better gladiators, which is interesting, but that's a conversation around luck. And what I'm talking about doing right now is selling these assets for a price that will actually afford me some sort of move the needle asset within Splinterlands, whether that's a new card to stake on land, whether it's a card I don't even own and I can put it to work to win more rank battles, whatever the case may be. These assets are going to move the needle in some major way that I'll do a separate video on. But thanks so much, guys. And if you're interested in doing this too, you know you have until apparently April 2nd. I think that's when they're pushing through the update, and you'll only get merits thereafter. Merits will be, juicy in its own way. But DEC is a unique opportunity, and this transition is a time to think about it. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for your time and attention. I hope you're having an amazing day. God bless.